to start, and then we shall be able to have everyone on board. As we wait for our colleagues to join us, tonight we are discussing religion, and we are handling Nigeria as a case study. We shall be focusing solely on Nigeria. And we are going to have very interesting guests as we do this assessment of the impact of religion on Nigeria in particular. This is our second episode, and we shall be having Amina Bala, the wife of our colleague who is currently in prison, Mubarak Bala. We shall also be having another lady who is currently in exile, but a very outspoken critic, outspoken person criticizing issues that go wrong, especially in Nigeria, and that is none other than Mariam Aliyu. And then we shall be hosting our comrade, also from Nigeria. His name is Imoleyo Obabukuni. So expect a very exciting show. Expect a very interesting discussion tonight. And that is Linda TV getting on set, and then we shall be ready to move. So we are going to be doing that assessment basically on Nigeria, and we shall be enjoying it live, broadcasting right from your set, and then we shall have 1.5 hours of excitement, of information, of knowledge sharing, and then we shall be able to find a way forward from the conversation we are going to have tonight. So welcome, stay tight, stay on, and be able to make a contribution in our inbox. Please give us your suggestions, make comments, and let us know how you want us to improve the show, how you want us to make it better each day. You can also suggest guests you'd like us to host, say your country, and please share with us topics that you think are interesting, pertinent for your country and for the continent. And also you can share names of people who would like to be hosted on this show. So welcome again on board, and we are ready to start this conversation tonight. As I said, we have very interesting participants today. All the guests are from Nigeria. We have Amina Ahmed Bala, we have Mariam Aliyu, and we have Imolayo Obabukuni from Nigeria. And we shall be doing this work together with my sister Linda Tiri, but also with our background team, which is doing a lot of work that you are able to see us here. And that is Dennis Bongo from Uganda, Kabeko Brian from Kenya, and then Logan from South Africa, and the rest of the team that do work together with us to see this show live tonight. We thank them so much, and we continue to encourage everyone to commit to this cause, and we see what we can do to contribute towards building our motherland, Africa. As we prepare for guests to join us, we are looking at Africa, now looking at religion. Of course, we are talking about Nigeria today, and we all know the dangers of religion in Nigeria, and we know how much it has taken this great country back. As we talk today, Nigeria is the biggest economy in Africa, if you go by GDP, and of course, It also has the highest number of people in Africa with over 200 million people. But also we know that almost half of that population basically lives in poverty or is below the poverty line. So we also know that in this very country, Nigeria, there are wars, there are conflicts, there are insurgencies, and basically many of these insurgencies have been because of religion. Basically, people are instigated into these conflicts, people are incited into these conflicts, basing mainly on their religious differences, and not even tribal, but much of the time religious differences. We know, for example, that it's very hard going in northern Nigeria and talk about secularism. We know that the northern part of Nigeria has been Islamized, and Islamic terrorists, including Boko Haram, have taken sway in that region of northern Nigeria, that we have seen many cases of people being abducted, being shot, being stoned to death, and yes, being hacked to death, including beheading of people, basically because they are not subscribing to Islam. And we have seen that even the politics in this country is largely along religious lines, that a person who is secular, who doesn't want to identify with any specific religion, may likely not be able to win an electoral seat in this country. But also we know, we take note that these religions are basically foreign related, foreign imported religions that actually are dividing Nigerians a lot. We have talked about poverty in Nigeria, which is very high. The gap between the rich and the poor is very, very high. And we see that there is no hope of having this gap narrowed down when a country is not at peace, when certain regions of Nigeria are not at peace, when people are conflicted. We don't see hope of a peaceful country in Nigeria. So tonight, we look at religion and we make an assessment of the same and see how much damage has been done, but also look at the good things that have been made out of religion, if any. We should look at that positive impact, if it has been there. We need to look at the schools, which are religious founded, the universities, how much have they contributed to Nigeria. We need to look at other development indices that have been as a result of religion or religious institutions, and we see if they have made any impact in Nigeria. We also look at hospitals, if there are any that have been constructed on religious basis, if any, universities, if any. So we want to look at Nigeria with an assessment of the good, the bad, and the ugly. So as we wait for our guests, welcome with me our co-host, Linda Tilly, who is in the background waiting to join us. Linda, welcome.
Hi, Kata, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. Sorry, I had problems with my electricity tonight. I don't know what my lighting is like there.
Yeah, don't worry. Lighting is not so good, but we shall continue with that. It's on the right side of you. On your right-hand side, there is more light.
Okay, I'll adjust it now as we talk. That's great, Sam. Thanks. It's been an exciting week. Actually, we've had such a good response from Nigeria with all the promotion for the show tonight, and I think it's great that we can speak to so many people from Nigeria tonight. We've had support from all over West Africa, and we are going to be joining us tonight three guests who've all been very involved with Mubarak Bala's case since the beginning in Nigeria for the past over 2.5 years, and as well as Mubarak's wife is joining us. So, we just wanted to give an overview of religion in Nigeria. Nigeria is our most important country in Africa. It's one of our wealthiest countries, and it has a huge population of people. It's also where we see religion growing in very rapidly and in huge amounts. There are currently about 65% of the population in Nigeria is Muslim, and the other 45% are Christian. We also know that we have huge terrorist insurgency there, with the most prominent group being Boko Haram. We all are aware of all the kidnappings and that over the years, which have continued to this day of school children. And it's actually very tragic what is happening in Nigeria. So it is important, because whatever happens in Nigeria is a reflection of what is going to happen in each of our countries one day. And the Nigerian people are very badly misrepresented worldwide. They have a very bad image wherever you go, in Africa as well. The Nigerians are one of the most, I think, along with the Somalians, the most feared people. And even overseas, when I've traveled overseas, people are they always have negative things to say. Whereas Nigeria is a country which is producing world leaders, people who are working outside Nigeria, are breaking records in almost every field, especially with science and art and, well, not just our writing and sports and that, but really significant things that they are involved with, developing invention, medicine especially. And if those of you who know the true history of Africa will know the significance of the Nigerian people, and also the genocide of the Biafran people, and the sort of what happened there during Nigeria's civil war. So it's a very, very important country. And I just feel that the people are misrepresented for a reason. And if you actually get to know the Nigerian people, they are the most amazing people. And I've learned so much from my Nigerian friends over the past 2.5 years that I've been involved there with Mubarak Bala's case. And they are really battling. They have the elections coming up next year. And I've always been a big supporter, saying that we all need to get behind Nigeria and support them, get to know the country better and exactly what's going on there, and not just believe what we hear people saying about them as a people. We can't judge a country just on the worst of its the worst. We've all got bad people in each country. We've all got good people in each country. The Nigerians are not all scammers, terrorists, or drug dealers. They are far, far from it. And I can honestly say my life hasn't been enriched by just getting to know the people of Nigeria, and I have learned so much from them. So I've got involved with a lot of human rights work there as well. It's an extremely religious country, and it is a huge country. It has 36 states. And in 1999, 12 of those 36 introduced Sharia law, which is the very extreme version of Islam. And that is where, for example, for those who don't know, such things, the death penalty for blasphemy, not allowed to drink alcohol. The men have to, wear their beards in a certain way. The women have to be completely covered, and there are very strict rules, especially when it comes to punishment, like you can have your hand chopped off for theft and that sort of thing, which we all know is very medieval. It's going backwards in time, not forwards. But this is spreading, and obviously with Boko Haram spreading throughout the states, especially under another country, of course, that's under dictatorship rule, military rule, just like Uganda, Qatar. You can relate to that with President Muhammad Buhari, and you can see how the terrorism has increased and how much worse it has actually got under his rule. So it's a very scary time for the Nigerian people. Mubarak Bala was convicted. Well, he was abducted in April 2020 for Facebook posts that he had put on his Facebook page, where he was not speaking, putting his old religion in a good light. He's an ex-Muslim. humanist. He was the president, still is, of the Humanist Association of Nigeria, also a two-time international humanitarian award winner. And more than anything, he is a highly respected humanist throughout Africa. And he is a husband and a father. His wife, Amina, they had just recently given birth to their first child, a son, who was only 6 weeks old when Mubarak was abducted. We always think of the people that are taken, and we often don't think of the wives and families that are left behind that suffer the most incredible. I always say they are also imprisoned. Amina, his wife, has also been imprisoned for 2.5 years because it's just stopped her whole life, and their son has had to grow up without a father, and this is all due to religion. Mubarak was recently in April this year sentenced to 24 years in prison for Facebook posts causing a public disturbance, which none of them did cause a public disturbance. So that's what he's been imprisoned for. But that is actually, they're obviously going to do an appeal. Someone says, I can't believe he's still in prison. Now he is still in prison. So it's all down to religion. And, we have the extreme version of religion, which runs alongside customary law in those 12 states. So we have the normal criminal law and then the Sharia law, which is only really applicable to Muslim people. And, you can't, if you're an ex-Christian or an ex-Muslim, they can basically do what they want because it's a lawless country. And as we know, in all countries like this, our governments own our military, our police, and our judicial court systems. So it's been very, very tricky because, of course, Mubarak was at one stage he was going to be executed. They wanted to kill him for that. Now he has just been sentenced to 24 years, which is a complete sham sentence. And there's the core groups of us that, of course, are working on this all the time, that we will get him released and we will get justice. The funny thing is that it's really shown me the hateful side of the Islamic religion. I spent most of my life in East Africa, living amongst wonderful, upstanding Muslim community members. As you yourself know, Kato, that people tend to think now that all Muslims are terrorists and all Muslims subscribe to this extreme jihadist way of interpreting their religion, but they don't. And we see so many people being persecuted and killed, the Muslims themselves, on a daily basis, and everybody is tarred with the same brush. An average of 14 Christians are murdered a day in Nigeria. And there's been a genocide of the Christian people and also Muslim people for years and years now. Unfortunately, last year, Antony Blinken, the Secretary of State, the US, he took Nigeria off the Religious Freedom Watch list, which we were all absolutely horrified about. And 2 weeks later, he flew into Nigeria for meetings with Buhari. I think a donation was given, and he was publicly thanked and given a pat on the back for helping keep terrorism at bay on the African continent. And since then, we've had Mubarak sentence. We've also had mobs going around and just taking innocent people, deciding themselves without judge or jury that they have committed blasphemy, and stoning, beating, and burning them to death in public. A lot of Mubarak supporters have had their homes, businesses, vehicles, one or all of the others burnt down. People have had to flee states. Many of Mubarak's friends had to flee Kano State when he was incarcerated, and are still living out of state now and can't return because they will be, just because they are supportive of him, they can actually kill themselves. So it's a very, very touch and go situation, and everybody is affected, the Christians and the Muslims there. A few months ago, we had also terrorists going into one of the churches during a church service and gunned down and killed, I think, about 18 people in broad daylight. It was videoed, and it was just horrific. The problem is I call them killers hiding under the umbrella of religion, because they're allowed to get away with it, you see, because according to their religion, they're allowed to kill people who speak against the religion. The problem with that is that there is no case of arresting a person, letting them plead their case, hearing both sides of the story, and deciding that they're guilty. It's a gang, a mob of hyped up people who see a person and within 10, 15 minutes have already convicted that person, sentenced him, and start killing him. And this is what's been happening, and just allowed to no one is caught for it, no one is held accountable for it, because it's in the name of religion, and it's allowed under the religious law. So this is a huge problem. I know we also had this happening with Al Sahab in Mozambique, and I just say to people, we need to all wake up and we need to all get behind Nigeria and support them now, because this is spreading throughout Nigeria and in the countries around Nigeria, like Southern Sudan, Nigeria, places like that, Eritrea, Ethiopia. If we don't stand up collectively and support each other, and especially as humanist communities, this is being done to religious people and irreligious people, what happens in Nigeria is going to spread to each and every one of our countries. And this is why I am particularly supportive and throw myself completely behind the Nigerian people, especially the humanist and atheist communities there, because it's very, very important, I feel. And Kata, it's shocked me, it's horrified me to see what's happening in your country of Uganda that is so similar. We see the slaughtering of innocent people in northern Nigeria on a weekly, daily basis. And we see the slaughtering of the people in Karamoja in Uganda in exactly the same manner. The way that they are killed and their bodies are displayed, many of them have also been beheaded. We also see the way that whole villages are killed, homes are set on fire, and livestock are taken. I've seen exactly the same in countries on opposite sides of Africa that I never thought I would see in a typically mostly Christian country of Uganda. And we know that this is all obviously because of our minerals. Our biggest, most wonderful gift in Africa is also our biggest curse, is our minerals, because everybody's after the minerals as they are slaughtering people in Karamoja under the pretense of whatever to get the gold and the minerals in the Karamojan soil. And the same thing is happening obviously with Nigeria. It's their oil, and it all comes down to money and power at the end of the day, and politics and religion are all entwined in one. So it is a very, very dire situation in Nigeria at the moment. So I'm really glad we could talk about this today. And I'm not sure which of our guests are behind the scenes. We are aware Nigeria loves scrambling feeds, and our advert has gone out on all the groups where we have a lot of the people that issue us all with death threats on a regular basis. Watch. So they will probably, I don't know, we are expecting our Nigerian guests to have network issues tonight, but we are prepared for that. So I think that we can probably introduce our first guest, because I know we're running a bit late. So our first guest is someone who has been a supporter of Mubarak since the beginning. He has been very persecuted himself personally in his professional life and his personal life as well, for turning his back on his religion and for being a level-headed, normal human being. So we have Umaleo, who is coming to us from Nigeria this evening. And I'm hoping that he's there. And
yeah,
we
I can
see
see
him
a
coming online there. Oh, and look, the sun is still shining in Nigeria. Hello.
Hello,
how
welcome.
Are you?
Welcome on the stage.
Welcome.
Hello, good evening, Ma.
You're very welcome. Hi, we can see you. We can hear you as well.
Hello, Ma.
Welcome on stage, our brother. We can see you and we can hear you. Please pick it from there. Yes.
I think he's frozen.
Yes. Thank you so much for that.
Okay. Shane, yeah, even phone calls to Nigeria are very, very 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning is usually a good time. All my Nigerian friends are online because they do get scrambled feeds, and we are expecting them. So we also have Mariam. I don't know, Amina was still she was on her way back to her location where she could speak to us. So we'll have them online just now. I'm not sure if any of them are on set yet. If maybe Mariam is there, we can talk to her. But so I just wanted to say a little bit of behind the scenes with everything I found with human rights in Nigeria. It all comes down to the whole religion thing again. Everything is affected by religion. Crimes are allowed to be committed and covered up by religion, and everything is affected by it in a really, really great way. I mean, not great as in great, but in a huge way. You know, we always know how politics and religion are.
Thank you for the analysis, Linda, and thank you for being in touch on the ground in Nigeria. The beaters that have been there have seen everything that happens in Nigeria. Can you please tell us if there have been incidences where Christians also attack others because of religious differences? Because what I know is that the extremists, who are in most cases Muslims, attack non-Muslims, especially in northern Nigeria. Has there been incidences where the Christians also retaliate and escalate these conflicts in northern Nigeria?
That's an interesting question. All the publicized cases are all attacks on Muslim people, but we know that in the villages, in the remote villages, what they do is they look for villages which have signs of religion, like a church with a cross. They also monitor villages to see with people whether they do their morning and evening prayers. If there's no prayers going on in the villages, then they know they are Christian villages. That is the Christians that they are mostly killing. But now we are also seeing it spreading through to Muslim communities, and there are many, many Muslims that are also being slaughtered on a regular basis. But they mainly targeted the Christian people. Christian pastors going into churches, killing pastors, kidnapping congregations and people as part of the church and schools. It's a definite attack on the Christian people. In fact, I was reading a report the other day by one of the big international church groups, and they have actually done surveys, and they say that Nigeria is the most dangerous country to live in as a Christian person today. Christian people are the most targeted in Nigeria out of every single other country in the world.
Wow.
There's Mariam.
There is our friend, Mariam Ali.
Mariam.
Welcome, Mariam.
Hi there.
Hi.
Welcome, Lucette.
My sister from another mother.
My friend. I'm so glad to see you.
We're going to be good. We're going to behave ourselves. I'm going to be very good.
How are you?
Finally.
Okay, I'm okay, Mariam. Welcome on set.
Yeah, I mean, go well rested.
We were waiting for you. We were waiting for you to tell us a lot of stuff about Nigeria. So please, the floor is yours. Carry on. People are waiting for you. We are talking about.
I was connect, but I was having a little bit of challenge on how to use this, because this is like my first time trying to use something like, so it was a bit challenging. But yeah, I figured it out now. So although I was listening to all the conversations earlier, and I completely agree with everything you've stated. In fact, even in some parts of northern parts of Nigeria where my work is focused, that is majorly, it's like you're picking all those things from my mouth. That is what is exactly like happening there right now, and we are experiencing right now. Before I begin discussion, I will just introduce myself briefly. My name is Mary. I am an activist in Nigeria. I focus because that's where I work. I work to support vulnerable women and girls victims of gender-based violence, and I provide safety for people who are generally vulnerable within the community. And I work with a team of colleagues, and I think some of my colleagues are also online here. Also, apart from that, we work somehow too with the government and some other UN agencies who support us with fundings and stuff to do our activity. Yeah, back to in the northern part of Nigeria, I've actually experienced a lot of so many people because of what about the End Child Marriage campaign, which we all started a few years. And you see, religion, it has a way of making things which are supposed to be out, which are outcasts or out. I don't know the right words to use. It has a way of making shit look fine and eatable. And see, that is it. I mean, the concept of child marriage, the way it is being painted and the way it is being arranged for people out there, especially people who are not exposed, who don't really have the idea. There are people who only rely on the books. That's the holy book they have. They don't have any other idea that knowledge from asking questions. You actually go out from your confine, from the comfort of your homes and seek this particular knowledge. So you bringing this knowledge to them, they are going to fight back because it's as if you are taking the only thing they know away from them. They don't see you as somebody who is trying to open their eyes to the need to understand, dangers that is surrounding them. No, they see you as an enemy because they feel like what you are doing is trying as much as you can to make them to go lower than they already are. So that is what we have been going through here in the northern part of Nigeria. Most times you see I make just some little post about the need for people to have freedom of expression, especially when it comes to religion, and then I get backlash. And then you see threats of people telling me I'm going to look, I'll kill you, and then I'll come burn you or something like that. So this is what we go through now. What is the best method? Pass this awareness, this information to these people. What is the best way for us to do it in such a way in which they will understand? Actually, seeing that they are not even ready to learn, they are not open to this knowledge. It is evident on my Facebook page. You see the kind. Most of you are my friends, and you see the attack I get just from talking about freedom of expression. Now, also, still as part of my work, I do a lot of awareness raising on rights, at least just the rights of women to work, right of women to go to school, right of women to report cases of GBV. These are also problems. I've not even gone to religion. I've not talked about religion, the nitty-gritty of religion, and the concept that the fact that they also have the right to choose religion, without just religion when they can decide to change. Some of them want to change religion, but because they were indoctrinated into Islam, most people, no, I cannot, because this is what I met my people doing. This is religion that is. But then, what exactly is the best way? Because I also need this from advice from people who, what is the best way to tell these people to really open their eyes to other parts, to source for more knowledge without just limiting themselves to just the holy book which they were indoctrinated into. That's number one. And also talking about Mubarak Bala, Amina is practically family because I've known her for a really long time. Amina is Mubarak's wife, and when this entire case started, the first person who told me was actually Bala. Bala is a friend between I don't know how do I say this now. He's a friend of a friend that knows Mubarak. So when this particular thing happened, he told me, and then I decided to find out more about it. I started research to get people who were close to where Mubarak was, so we could get more information about what was happening at that time. It was so difficult because everybody was scared, and even there's a guy who is a mutual friend between me and Mubarak. As at that time, even to reach out to him because he's also in Kano there, he told us that immediately it happened, he knew he was going to be the next person, so he left immediately. So he has no idea about what is happening, and he doesn't even know where Mubarak is. Initially, he wanted to go to the house to see if there'll be a way for him to find out where he was taken to, but we could not find out. It was so difficult. In fact, everybody were just locked up. We went to a few days after. We still don't know where he was taken to. We don't even know he was in Kano until after, I think, 50 days plus for us to even discover where he was kept. So we went to the government agencies to understand better, like, okay, can you give us more information? Why was he arrested? What did he do? We just want to know in general, where is he right now? Because at least we have the right to know where he was. And then they will tell us where he went. So we started looking for different methods to see that, we can get more information. We started trying to use women. We started trying to use young girls that are close to these people, just whatever means we can, just to get more information. And then somehow we succeeded one way or another. And but then it didn't stop there, because we kept on trying as much, apart from making noise on social media, which was so bloody because there were so many threats coming, especially at me, at my life. We kept talking about, because me and Amina kept talking, and we're like, she needs to keep it very low, like completely away from, nobody needs to know who she is. If she sends messages, she needs to blind herself out of it, her name and her son's name, because we need to protect her. But then for me, I'm already out there. Everybody knows my about religion. And for me, I'm not shaking. At the point I was shaking, I was scared at a point. But then after a while, I think I kind of like strengthened my own protection in one way or another, and I continued doing what I was doing. So I was traveling back and forth, Kano, trying to find out more information, and we went to government agencies, people who are supposed to be in position to tell us stuff and to give us some upper hand on what we need to do. But nobody was willing to talk, because they keep telling you, if I see anything right now, people are going to come over and kill me. Or somebody is going to tell you that someone already attacked my family, and someone said they are going to burn me alive. And then we had no other choice. Like, we don't know what to do. Everybody you run to seeking for support, seeking for favor, turns you down. Okay, and I was like, since I'm a civil society founder, probably I could also consult other civil society organizations and their founders. So in Nigeria, especially in northern parts of Nigeria, too, because this is part of human rights. And if somebody's right is being, if somebody's right is not upheld, as human rights, as an activist organization, you have a right to fight for that person, right? It's part of our policy, it's part of our mission. So then I went to human rights organizations, more than 5 human rights organizations, they all turned me down because it has to do with religion. And then I talk about, I'm like, okay, your organization mission and vision talks about, fighting for the rights of people who have been abused. This guy has been abused clearly. So what is now the right you're fighting for? So I became a solo entity, running all around like a headless chicken with no support. And then after that, other people, Linda came in, and apart from Linda, so many other people started coming in and trying to see that they provide support. And then gradually I found myself in a community of people whom, at least if it's advice, but then most of them are not based in Nigeria. They are not here in Nigeria. But my own people and my own community whom are supposed to come together. So we all can join hands together to see that this guy, is released, or we provide support for him because of the injustice. Nobody was willing to come out. So, and also talking about the system is so corrupt to the point in which it has utilized the tool of fear on everybody, even civil society. Civil society organizations are organizations that are supposed to be able to challenge the status quo. We are supposed to stand out there to be able to say that what the government is doing and call them on their bullshit. But it has gotten to a point in which the government also controls what we do as a civil society organization. And it's supposed to be, it's not supposed to be like that. It's wrong. I mean, that is why we are non-governmental organizations. So now we are in a position where we cannot even challenge the government, because I would even go back to when we tried to fight for the gender equality bill. It was thrown out the window. So there are so many things that happens in which Nigeria has gotten to that point. So most times we come out on social media because we keep talking, tagging international communities, because we believe that by the time we raise our voice out there loudly and people could hear us, maybe they could somehow probe our government to do something. But then we see the contribution that also comes from the West, and we don't really see. I wouldn't want to go too deep into this discussion, but we don't really see that much support, because as if when we run to this particular support, what we get is something that is even further worse. It's more as if we are sinking more. So I wouldn't want to take up all the discussions, but yeah, in terms of Mubarak's issue, we are still on Mubarak's case. We are still trying to find out. At least now we know where he is, and he's allowed visitations, and we are still trying as much as we can to see that We go to court, we do the needful to get his release, and we're not going to stop. We are going to continue the activism to ensure that he's released, because this is gross human right violation, and everybody's supposed to rise against this kind of violation. And it is not just whether you're an atheist, whether you're not an atheist, whether you're supposed to stand on your feet to ensure that you fight for everybody's rights. So everyone has right freedom of speech. Everybody have a right to seek and to stand and challenge the status quo. So when you notice that someone is being disgraced or embarrassed or humiliated in this form, you should stand up for that person, irrespective. You can do it from far away.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's true.
It's
just like when I saw Nigeria struggling. Because I live in South Africa, my rights are protected much more than a person living in Nigeria, with freedom of speech and with being able to write and speak out for people. And I could see the Nigerians, they could not do that. Their Twitter had been banned and there were huge restrictions on them. And I just felt, I have a platform, I have a voice, and I'm not going to be persecuted in South Africa for speaking up for Nigeria as people are there. And that's how I got involved with it. Because if you see anybody that is drowning and you can help them, you're going to give them an arm out to help them. And it was very interesting because I then decided that I needed to get more countries on board to support Nigeria with this issue. And it took me days. I emailed or contacted every single atheist and humanist community across our continent, everywhere that I could find contacts for. Interestingly, in South Africa, I had hoped to get a large amount of support from the atheist community. It was very interesting, the reaction I got from people here that had worked with me before on other issues in Southern Africa. They didn't want anything to do with Nigeria because of the stigma attached with it. They don't want to get involved with anything to do with terrorism. That was a general attitude of godless people here. Well, that's great, but you can do it because it's to do with we rather just stay away from Nigeria. It's a dangerous country kind of thing. And then I had Muslim friends who had worked with me on issues here to do with animal welfare.
Linda, to check you in bit, our friend
yes.
Amolayo is online.
It's there.
Yeah,
hi.
I'm online right now. I can hear you very well.
We can hear you great.
I'm so glad Mrs. Miriam has said so lot of things I want to say. But to be honest with you, I think the best thing we can do about this online show is you need to enlighten me. I'm not that educated. So, but the truth is, I want to work on Bala Mubarak stuff. So many of my friends keep asking me, what do we need to do? Bala cannot stay in that situation. I will keep sitting here. Like, religion has done more harm than good to us in Africa. I've never been outside of Africa. I've never been outside of Nigeria. Even to Benin Republic, I've never been there. So I don't know the ideas. You can see me. This is me. I'm coming from work. I'm just coming. So a friend was like, yes, we want to watch your program. You've been speaking sense to us about God. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in a God. So I see no reason why people should castigate others for believing in a God. So when I was listening to Miss Miriam Aliu's contribution, I can really say I have 100% of what she's saying. She has spoken the truth. We are going through a lot in Africa. To be honest with you, most especially in Nigeria, not about Bala's issue, Deborah's issue that was burnt back then. Not about those people alone. I have so many people here. They are skeptical. They are skeptical. They want to learn what is going on about this God of an issue. Why are they punishing us? If we should eradicate religion from Africa, to be honest with you, we are going far. I'll be honest with you, we are going far. So many of my friends want to listen to this. Africa is a continent that has so many intellectuals and intelligent people. So many intelligent people. But the problem you are having right now is we are being controlled through religion, not through politics. By next year, we are having politician stuff. I'm not bothered about that. But right now, the truth is we are being controlled through religion. Religion in Africa, in Nigeria most especially, has nothing to offer us. Nothing. Nothing. I am once a Christian for so many years. For so many years, I was disowned by my own parents for not believing in God. I was poisoned. I was drinking beer, and they poisoned me. So if I die, I should go to heaven and believe that there's a God. Why will my own blood do that to me? Why would they do that to me? That's unfair. So I believe religion has nothing to do with Africa. If I should check it very well, when I read the book very well from many humanist and irreligious people, I was able to understand that the first man is from Africa. Why are we just trying to worship gods from people outside Africa? Why? I don't understand. If my mother that gave birth to me had me in her own stomach for 9 months can disown me, just tell me the reason why she can't kill me. My own cousin poisoned me to die, all because I said there's no God. Religion has done harm than good to Africa. For anybody that's listening to me, I'm not educated. I don't know how to speak much English, but I believe you can hear me. Religion has nothing to offer us. In Africa, forget it. The Europeans, the Caucasians that brought us religion, they are living fine. And that is why majority of we Africans are going there to their land to believe that it is a greener pasture. They have nothing to offer us. There was a time the queen died. Many of them were celebrating it. And I was like, do you have a sense? You are celebrating queen. Is it the queen affecting right now? Were you born when the queen was affecting you? No. Now, why don't you speak your government embezzling you? And there's one thing in Africa. Once you speak the truth, you have a problem. Look at me. I am not a scam. I am always real. I will speak the truth. I'm not scared of dying. I have told Mrs. Linda, I want to go and see Bala, but I've never seen him personally. I want to see him at the north, one-on-one, physically. Let me speak him. I don't care joining him. I don't care joining him in that prison he is. He shouldn't be jailed. Why will Boko Haram be affecting us? And Boko Haram is not jail. And someone can be jailed for 20-something years for just speaking on social media. I don't get it. This thing is hurting me. I have so many friends watching me live from UK. I told them, this is the link. Please go and check. This is absurd. I'm not educated. If I should be educated, I will be honest with you. I will be fluent. And there are some set of people sitting down somewhere embezzling Bala's issue, eating from him. Why? We are going to die someday. There's no heaven, there's no hell. There's no heaven, there's no hell. Why will you be cheating? Why will you be cheating on your fellow human being? It's unfair. It's unfair. I'm coming from a work. I'm receiving 18,000 naira. Nigerian money, 18,000 as salary. Look at me. This is me. This is me. 18,000 naira. I'm in my 30s. Like, all because I said there's no God and I was being disowned. I'm living. So I believe that religion has nothing to offer us. Religion has nothing to offer us. The only truth is, if you are an humanist, try as much as possible to help people who are speaking the truth. Bala Mubarak was speaking the truth. He is speaking the truth. He was being jailed for nothing. What was his offense? What has he done wrong? How much has he embezzled? Abubakar Tinubu, Abubakar Atiku has embezzled more money. Why are you not in jail? Why are you not jailing him? I don't care anything that wants to happen to me. I have a friend on social media that has been ranting about Bala. Come, guy, I don't care. If I want to die, let me die. This is a country that we have been betrayed by our government. How I wish I'm educated. I'm very intelligent. I'm an intelligent person. I'm not educated just because I said there's no God. I have to flee from Ondo State.
Thank you very
Ondo
much.
State is the south.
Thanks.
I have to flee. I don't
Yeah,
get.
I think
I have to run away from my life.
education is something
Why?
we've said. It's the only way out is educating and starting with educating our children. And for the more people to learn about Africa's true history and the fact that religion was introduced here, the Islamic religion and the Christian religion, as a form of oppression and to control and instill fear into the African people. And it's become so entrenched in our everyday lives now that we use it against each other. And our governments, if you can call them governments, use them as tools to play one side against the other as well. And we have people placing their votes in the ballot boxes according, it's aligned to their religious beliefs rather than using their own common sense. And it's what I always say to people is that we have a horrific past with lots on our continent, and of course the slave trade is a huge one. We think we are free, but we are not free. We are still slaves, except our chains have been replaced by religion, and we are worshipping our slave master, which is an unseen, unknown entity in the sky, and it's only dragging us backwards as people, as African people. They have taken an intelligent, world-leading continent and instilled rubbish into people's heads. And the crazy thing is that we, the people who can see it for what it is and know it for what it is, to try and help people, we are the ones that are told that we are crazy, we are mad, and we are the ones that are targeted. And it's an unbelievable situation where you're trying to break the chains off a person, and they're like clutching into them and saying, "Don't take them," and they want you to be killed. It's a crazy situation. It's so entrenched throughout Africa. People are so brainwashed by it. We need to actually, I believe, a problem that's taken a long time to evolve to this point is not going to be solved overnight. And the only way that we can resolve the issue is by educating people and by not classing ourselves as a separate unit, as godless, but being prepared to work within Christian and Muslim communities. Because many Christians and Muslims that I know are humanists. I would call them humanists. The only thing that stands between them and me is their God. They give credit to everything they do to their God, but in fact it's because they're good people. You're born good or born bad, I believe. So we need to look past that. There are so few of us who are prepared to stand for good and for the rights of people. Why should we close ourselves off to one group just because they follow a certain religion? And I know people are always shocked when they find out that I'm not religious because they can't believe that an atheist is going out and doing good work. And it just by being who we are as people, it's having more of an effect on people than if you sit and lecture a religious person about their religion. Some people won't change. I think it's like you're either a good runner or you're not. You either understand things or you don't. My own mother, my whole life, I could never make her see my way of things. In the end, I just had to accept it and fall in love with her, and we had our differences. And I see it's like that with a lot of religious people. But we have to work together. And the thing we all need to work towards, of course, is a one-day secular Africa, where everybody is allowed to have their belief or not believe in anything, and we work alongside each other. It's like I say, your favorite football team or whatever. I'm a Liverpool supporter. I don't like Manchester United. Don't bring that into my home. Do your own thing with Manchester when you're in your own home or whatever, but don't bring it into my home, and I would bring it into yours. We should view religion like something like that, where it's our personal thing. It doesn't affect us in our work. It doesn't affect us in our social lives. It doesn't, and that's what we need to do, because we're not going to banish religion overnight. We aren't, and it's just dragging people back. So that's my view on that.
And if I may add, I would also that we should all know that each and every one of us are all victims of religion in one way or another. So the fact that in Africa, in Nigeria, if the fact that we all grew up and then we came up to meet the way the system is nobody's fault, but it's how exactly to so I don't really blame people at times when they turn me down when I'm trying to explain some things to them, but I still feel like there's need for consistent amount of knowledge gaining, like patience as well, consistency, and then probably we'll keep talking about it, because the truth is this: whether we like it or not, we need to. Sorry, I didn't.
Go ahead.
Mombo.
Okay.
I'll give you your phone. I'm coming.
No, I think Michael's still on. I don't know whether one of the producers can just maybe mute him. Okay, sorry. Is Michael still on?
Mariam, go ahead. Go ahead and make your analysis.
Because like right now in Nigeria, we have this this system in Nigeria that is so unfair. It favors some specific people. The rich keeps getting richer and the poor keeps getting poorer. And then when we try to open the eyes of this poor people to see that, look at where the mistakes is coming from, they will tell you. Then the rich people use religion to confuse them more, so that they keep on following them, and then they keep on getting more and more into the gutters. So we are all victims of religion in one way or another. We are all suffering. We are all complaining. It's just like patriarchy, and so we are all suffering from it. Now, the best way is for us to continue to raise awareness from afar. For those of us that are at risk, for those of us knows that if we go close to these people, we might get burnt. So we can stay from afar and keep, raising awareness, doing the little and little we can. Rome was not built in a day. They started from foundation.
Exactly.
There they are. So I believe that with time, we are also going to get there. And another thing is this, I would always try to talk to people about is, for me, people can decide to have their religion. I am not going to force anyone to have a different view. I will respect everybody's view. So far, you respect my freedom of speech and expression. I have a freedom. Exactly. I have the right to castigate your religion. I have the right to say that what you're doing is this. I have a right to also assess it the way you have a right to assess my own humanism and the fact that you feel like what I am doing is wrong. Most times on Facebook, I joke about being a tree worshiper and being the goddess of the trees and all that. And then people come at me saying that I'm smearing blood and I'm Satan, I worship Satan, I'm going to go to hell and all those stuff. But you see, so the same way they assess me, they shouldn't feel also bad when I assess them as well. So that is actually where I'm coming. We have to have a leveling point, a point of agreement. So you insult me because of the fact that I am like this. But when I tell you the same thing, you're looking for violence. You're getting a mob attack on me. You're trying to burn down and all that. So this is where we all need to have a leveling ground. And that is why I always call for the end of blasphemy laws. I am completely against blasphemy law, because all it does is it limits your ability, to self-express. Like you have a right to freedom of speech, but then with blasphemy law, it has completely taken away that right. So even when we had this entire meeting and talking about the right of Mubarak with some top officials, I met recently. We talked about this UN special envoys, because we need to raise more alarm about Mubarak's case and all that. We kept, pondering about the freedom of speech, the fact that there is no freedom of speech in Nigeria. And according to our constitution, it is completely written in the constitution that there is freedom of speech. But then when you try to do that, you get arrested by the same government who
Yeah, Mariam.
And Mariam, you yourself know about the open death threats that all of us get on Facebook and the things they say about what they want to do to Mubarak. What the people say even today is not even half as bad as anything Mubarak said on his Facebook post that he was abducted for. But yet there are people there still today that are allowed to just run their mouths off and talk about how they're going to behead you and what they're going to do to you and how they're going to kill. There's even a hashtag for kill all Mubarak Bala supporters. Facebook haven't stopped it, and neither have any of the officials in Nigeria. But yet someone like Mubarak, who says something that is not even half as bad and is actually speaking truthful things, look, he's sitting now 24, 26 years. There's no balance, as Mariam says. There's no middle ground where you can meet and agree to disagree and respectfully have your boundaries between each other. It's just totally, but that's because Nigeria is run by corrupt criminals. That's actually why it is, unfortunately. That's the honest truth of the matter.
And also the leaders are bigot, they are religious bigots, and most of them are atheists, because most of them, they drink and then they do all those things that religion stands against. They go partying,
Of course.
they do all sort of crazy stuff. But when it comes to politics and voting and election, they use religion as a cover-up. Religion is just a cover-up. All the politicians.
It is. It's something that people are hiding under to get away with criminal activity.
The atheists, because any ideology always have some extremism aspect of it. They are extreme atheists that comes with the cover of, because now recently a pastor, a so-called well-known pastor somewhere around Nigeria was caught, and he has been kidnapping and killing people and taking their money. He was so viral, he went viral, and he's a pastor, like a well-known pastor. And this is what they do. This is what most of these pastors do. Most of them are atheists. Most of them are extreme. They have this extreme atheists. They have far left view about everything. And then what they do is they hide it, and they hide it under the notion of religion. They come to use that, to oppress people. And like a pastor that is like, he's really popular. I saw a lot of videos about this guy, only for the police to arrest him as a kidnapper. Most of the pastors and imams and stuff, this is what they do. Some of them engage in child molestations and all sorts of gross human rights violations. But then they all use religion as a cover-up. So by the end of
it's like the Roman Catholic Church. Yeah, same thing.
If you don't look deep, you may not know. And because these people are vulnerable, they have just one kind of focus. They only focus on what is written, and just, they have this focus. They will not understand until probably that mentality, that has been taken away from them. So this is where we need patience, and then we need to continue our consistency and patience, and also time, for us to continue raising awareness.
Exactly.
More awareness from the younger age. And if there's a way they could somehow, because everybody is different. There are different kinds of people out there. You cannot expect people to be either Christians or Muslims. It's because the white man and the Middle Easterners brought these religions to us. And
exactly.
If you go back in history to check how this religion came to be, it is as just a way of slavery. It came through, the boats that came to pick all Africans through the wall of the road of no return now was clearly written, come to Jesus Christ. The boat's name was Jesus Christ, and that boat took all my ancestors to slavery. So why am I supposed to continue following this specific kind of people?
Exactly.
And then we go to Arabian countries, and we see how we are being treated as Black people, and then we call ourselves Muslims, and we do all the things that Islam says, and then we go there, but they treat us completely different. And if you're a person and you go to probably Saudi Arabia to work as probably a house help, you see you come back as a skeleton. Like, you work there and you are paid nothing, and you are abused. You're consistently being abused, being looked down on, and being tortured by the same. These are people we are supposed to be learning from, right? So you see all the notions from the pastors, for the leaders of the pastors and the leaders of the Islamic religion. You see how they treat people, but then yet you all keep following those specific people because they are supposed
exactly.
to be. So where we are coming from is for you to have a brain of your own, to be able to think for yourself, to wake up in the morning and sit down knowing fully well that if you do not do any prayer, if you don't put your head and hit it on the floor today, you will not die. Nothing will happen to you. We are trying to tell you that you have a right to be able to do whatever it is you want to do. You have a right to pray. You have a right not to pray. You have the right to sit and think about religion. You have a right not to. You can decide to go out today without saying any religious word, and you come back, you are still safe. If you are alive today, you are alive because you are alive. If you are dead because you are dead. It's not because there is something out there that is pushing forth or pushing. So that is what
exactly.
we want you to have a mind of your own, to be able to think for yourself. Don't say, my pastor said that if I eat so thing, I'm going to be able to get pregnant after 3 days. Or my pastor said that if I bath with this water, I'll be able to sleep better. No, if you want to sleep better, take some medications and sleep. Go to your doctor, let them prescribe for you, and you'll be able to sleep. That is what we are trying to.
If you feel like you have malaria that is keeping you, that is making you have insomnia at night, go and get anti-malaria medications. That is what is keeping you, not your pastor. I know a lot of women out there in whom their pastors and their malams or their whatever have stopped them from taking medications, and it has led to their death. Some of them had kidney problems, and they are saying, I went to the pastor, my pastor said that because I have this. No, it is wrong. They have no idea. They have no medical training. They have no background. They know nothing. They are going to kill you. So what we all are trying to tell you by talking about mental slavery and freedom of expressions and freedom to think for yourself, what we are talking about is for you to have a mind of your own, to stop being a robot to all these people. That is all we are talking about.
Critical thinking.
Yeah, Mariam, thank you so much. If I can chip in, that was a very good analysis.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thank you very much. But also thank you, Imolayo, our gentleman from Nigeria still. He made a very good contribution. There have been comments from the viewers. Ramadan says that in Nigeria, religion in Nigeria has become a business to a large extent and also a tool used to enslave the people. And I think
that's what I just said, yeah.
Yes, and actually, again, Ramadan was saying that when you go to court in Nigeria, basically you're wasting time because the courts are compromised. So, Mariam, from your own experience, we'd like you to enlighten us more about these things. You have talked about the church. Personally, I'm very disappointed in Nigeria. I should tell you this, Mariam. For over 20 years, and I'm sure you were not even born because you are young. For over 20
younger than 20.
25 years, there were what we call Nigerian movies. I was young and in my 40s. That's why I'm saying Mariam must have been in her mother's womb.
I'm not that.
But
it's a compliment.
The Nigerian movies were used as a tool to promote Christianity and witchcraft in Uganda. I'll talk about my own country because as a teenager, I watched these movies. Nigeria has had this industry for a long time. But what do you see in these movies? Someone standing and saying magic and someone falling and dying. Now, that is African kind of religion. So, superiority, witchcraft, that it works. And then you see a pastor coming on board and then puts his hands on the sick and the sick gets up and hallelujah. Now, we need to look at that from that angle. And I'm telling you that I used to watch these movies as a teenager. They were exciting. My mother used to love them. But you can imagine how many people have been misled by Nigerian movies alone.
Thanks, Nigeria.
That one, witchcraft is real.
Yeah.
That's what message we are saying. Witchcraft is real. And two, Jesus works. Because when a pastor comes in and prays for you, everything becomes hallelujah. Everything becomes okay.
And you get money and everything.
Yes. And actually you become rich, you become healthy, you become everything. So in brief, my analysis there is that Nigeria, apart from being a big economy, it has also contributed to mental slavery. Your industry has promoted the witchcraft. People think witchcraft works. Has promoted Christianity. People think actually that pastors work. In Nigeria, it's the only country in Africa where you find a pastor owning a chopper, a private jet.
Yep.
It's only in Nigeria where you find a pastor owning billions of US dollars. In fact, I was making an analysis in my book, hope you have got a copy, of The God Business, and I was mentioning the richest pastor in the world, including Nigerian pastors. The richest pastors in the world. And these are pastors with US million dollars, not Nigerian shilling, $1 million in USD. And where are they getting this money? In Nigeria. In Nigeria. And how are they getting the money? Making miracles, which actually are stage managed, which actually are fake, which actually don't exist. So when you make this analysis, we need to make sure that people know that actually witchcraft is not real, as the movies have put it. That's one thing. That actually miracles are staged, just like Bushir is doing in South Africa, just like Adeyo, whoever, those pastors in Nigeria, there are quite many. One of them died recently. One of them died about 2 years ago. I think it was Josh or something like that. So the point I'm making right now is that when you look at the impact, let us not actually look more at the Europeans right now because they have left. But those who are keeping their legacy in Nigeria are the problem. Now, we need to welcome Amina. Amina, welcome on the set. Amina, welcome on the set. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us, Amina?
Amina, can you hear us? Put your mic on.
Her sound.
Put your mic on. If
Maybe
you
you
can
have to
hear
make
us,
push to her.
Sorry.
put your mic on. Your microphone is off.
Hello,
Amina.
can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now? Oh,
Yes,
hello.
we can.
Hello, Mr.
Hello.
Kato. Hello,
Yes, Lady Amina.
Miss
Welcome.
Linda.
Welcome. on the show.
Hi,
Mother, my
I'm seeing
darling.
your face like very first
Live
time.
in real time. Nails to the corner. We
Thank
all
you.
here.
Thank you so much.
Amina,
Miriam.
you found us.
Hi,
You found us with
How are you?
Mariam,
welcome.
and
Hello.
you found us with Amolayo making discussions here. Now,
Hello.
because of time
We can still
limitations,
hear.
we are going to
We can
invite
hear you.
Yeah. Hello.
Amina.
Yeah.
Amina, network may be a problem. You want to invite
Oh my
him so that
goodness.
you can make.
The network is.
Okay, Mariam, let us briefly forget about Amina now. Basically, we plan to have you, Mariam, back. We shall have you back on the set, and Amina, the two of you, we need to have you back as the army ladies of Nigeria. You know, you are the army ladies of Nigeria, and so far the comments I'm getting are, why don't you get Mariam back? You know, that's the kind of talk we want. You know, it's like we are impressing everyone. Everyone wants to have a piece of you right now. Anyway.
She's amazing.
Mariam, back to you. I want you to make that analysis from my observation. Yes, education is important, but look at the impact of the churches in Nigeria. Look at the impact of these mosques in Nigeria, and give us that analysis, the psychosocial impact of these religions on people. And again, lastly, tell us about the NGO work. How has it been affected by these extremists? In 5 minutes.
Okay, great. So I'll start with the last question. Currently we have over 6 million people in the northern part of Nigeria in need of humanitarian support. That's who are, and then out of that we have over 1 million plus of them who are in need of base violence. And when that across rape, it cut across kidnappings, etc., domestic violence, and other forms of violence, and also, of course, religion included. But then, so you see, in the humanitarian sector, we always have a specific view. I don't know if I'm audible, okay, great. So
Yes, you are.
Every organization has specific view and specific activities that they already have, and that for me is also a problem because we cannot work without funding, right? And to get funding to do some of those activities is very challenging. And most times when you get this funding, the funding is specific to specific activities. And it is very, very, very difficult for you to get a fund that is specific to say, oh, okay, this particular funding is for atheists and human, or this particular
Hi, Amina.
funding is for so specific. It's not possible.
Mariam, let us have
Amina's
Amina
back.
Okay.
Amina, can you hear us? Amina, can
Hello?
you hear
Yes, I
us?
can hear you guys. Hello, good evening. Yeah,
Hi,
Good
we
evening
can
to
hear
you.
Mr.
you.
Kato, Miss Linda, hi.
Hi,
Hello,
hi.
my
Good
darling.
evening.
Amina,
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so happy seeing your faces. Ma'am Linda, seeing your face for the and I
Oh,
think
that's
you're
nice.
seeing my face too, like live like this for the very first time. And we've been
Live,
that's nice.
yes.
so caring and helpful. Miriam has been so helpful. Mr. Kato, I thank you all for your love and concern and help. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so
Thank
much,
you so
Mariam.
much.
Amina, thank you so much
What else
for
can I
those.
say than thank you? Miriam, I see you smiling.
Miriam is happy.
Hello.
Amina, if you can hear me, everyone is waiting
Yeah,
for
thank you
your
too. Thank you
contribution.
too. Nice. I'm so happy being in this show.
Mariam,
It's
tell
great
us
to have you,
your.
Amina.
Yeah.
We were
Amina, tell
discussing
us
Mubarak's
your.
case earlier. Oh, she's gone off. Yeah, she's going
Um,
to have problems
we know
with
she's
her
having
connection.
problems, and what I suggest, we are going to have Amina and Mariam again as the two ladies on set,
Definitely.
and then we shall give them more time because, of course, our viewers want to hear more from Mariam and Amina.
Yeah, we've had a huge response. We really have.
Yeah, we have to hear from these Iron Ladies of Nigeria and their contribution. By the way, we respect you a lot. We do respect your work, Mariam, and the resilience of Amina, and we wish that it continues. We wish that you wake up more people. We know that ladies are more likely to listen to you than me, to listen to Linda, to listen to Mariam and Amina than a Mukasa from a Uganda background. So when you talk about religion and how they are affected, how their rights are being taken, why they should dump the hijab, for example, why they should also go for their rights, they are more likely to listen to you because you speak the language they understand. You are part of them. You are part of the pain they feel. So back to you, Mariam, as we conclude with you.
Great. Thank you so much, Kato, for that. So like I was trying to explain, in the humanitarian sector, it's very difficult to get funding that are specific for this specific for atheists and humanists. So that is already a challenge. It also gives you this sort of psychological trauma because somehow you have to merge them with other activities for them to be able to benefit from it.
Sure, yeah.
And also back to the psychological trauma. Yeah, I mean, for me, I felt like I was psychologically traumatized all my life because of the hijab, and now I'm free from it. I feel so free. Like, I always ask myself, what is so wrong with my hair? My strong black, thick, sign. My hair is strong and it is black. It's a sign of
Your
a
strength,
strong
yeah.
African woman. Beautiful. Like when I put
Absolutely.
water on it and I comb it, it's so coily and it's so nice. And when I feel it, and I'm like, why was I told all my life to cover this hair? Because it's supposed to be a symbol of beauty for me. And then this particular hijab, I feel like I'm imprisoned. So why do I have to cover my hair? And that was one of the reasons why I dumped it. And it was so difficult for me, but I am glad now I have done it. It psychologically traumatized you. There is even a time, somehow up till now, up till this moment, at times I want to go out and I just somehow come back and I just take the hijab and I use it and I'm like, wait, when I'm halfway going, I'm like, wait, why am I using it? I'm no longer
it's such a habit.
and then I put it again. So this is what it does to you. Religion has a tool it uses on people, and that is the tool of fear, especially the religion of Islam. It puts a fear that if you do this is the repercussion. I don't want to do something that I keep, getting, this sort of flashback of repercussions all the time. It doesn't show freedom, right? So that is I want my freedom. I want to be free, and that is why I have decided to step away from religion, because I feel like it's a cage. I'm in cage. Whenever I have any I have to do something that is related to religion, I see myself in a cage. And when I go to places and then I am being forced to eat some specific type of food because it's halal and the other one is haram, it becomes another, because I want to try out everything. And I'm glad. Like at times I tell people that I wish upon you the freedom I currently enjoy, because I see
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it.
the same young girls, we all grew up together, we all are friends, and I see them struggling, and they are in homes, some of them are married, they are in homes, you can see that they are not really happy, but they don't have a voice, cannot stand up and talk, because religion always tells you that your husband is the head of the house. Even though he tramples upon you, even though he does whatever it is he has to do upon you, you have to just accept whatever it is you're getting. Even if you report to your mother, they will send you back. Oh, I don't know if you're aware that in the northern part of Nigeria, when you have an issue with your husband and you run to your parents, they send you back. They send you back. Even if he's abusing you, they will send you back. Because divorce has become something that is seen, according to religion, as haram. Divorce is haram. So the woman has to always bear the burdens, the ills of consistent amount of abuse, from the man. So this is all the things I have sat down, I have thought about, I have done my research about it, and I have decided to step away from it, like take a whole run. I've run for my life, and I'm still running, and I hope that I'm going to continue to, someday, these young girls that are surrounding me, those, especially we grew up together, they're going to see the same thing I saw, and also be able to take to their heels and run as fast as their legs can carry them. Because everything surrounding what religion brings, it brings down the woman. It makes you a slave. It puts you at a position where you have no brain, no way to think for yourself.
Sure.
Anyway, I'll allow Amina to talk. Thank you so much. I hope
Thank you, Mariam. Amina.
Wonderful, Mariam. Thank you so much.
That was wonderful. Amina, we are listening to you. We are waiting for your input. Amina, can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear me, please?
Hi, we can hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you, Amina. You can talk.
Okay. Hi, Linda. Hi.
Hi, we've heard
you, Mr. Kato.
Yes, Amina, may you please give us your take? Tell us a bit about how you are doing right now. Amina, how are you?
Can you all hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
hello, can you hear me, please?
There's a bit of a delay, but we can hear
we
you
can
what
hear
you're saying. That's
Just
fine.
away.
So,
speak out.
Okay. So it has been a grueling journey. Let me just put it that way. Since 28th of April 2020, when my husband was taken away by religious people. Let me just put it that way. I have been
criminals. I'll say it's criminals.
I have been battling serious psychological and emotional trauma ever since my husband Mubarak Bala was taken away. The world is my witness. Everybody is my witness. Miriam, Malinda, everyone. How many people? We keep fighting. I keep fighting. We will keep fighting till Mubarak comes out. You see, the issue of religion in this country is a very, very dicey thing, and most times, especially in the north, where Mubarak is from, politics is mixed with religion. So, how it happened, how my issue happened, I just put to bed as at that time. My son was just 6 weeks old when my husband was taken away, and we're just 8 months into the marriage when he was taken away. So it had been I don't even know how to put it. I was suicidal. I was emotionally tortured. I was psychologically, because we didn't know when Mubarak was for like close to 8 months before we now discovered that he was in a prison in Kano. He was being put in prison without charges, nothing. We just threw him there. And I kept asking, okay, no problem. I even tried calling that, okay, where is my husband? Let me just talk to him. If they just say, oh, he's fine, then No one was talking to me. Nobody was talking to me. I was running with my baby, and I just had a baby and with a cesarean section. I was running all over the place. I and some friends would go to the police headquarters to call the commissioner then, not now. He was then the commissioner. I called him for the first time, like 3 months after Mubarak disappeared. I called him. I wanted to know, okay, sir. I was even trying to be like, to be polite with him at first, but he told me he doesn't know who Mubarak is. That why am I
It was
calling him? He doesn't know
Habusani, I
anybody
think,
called
hey?
Mubarak. And cut off the phone. I have sent over, I'm not exaggerating, I have sent over 1,000 messages to this man. He didn't reply for 1 day. Until today, even yesterday, I sent him a message. I told him Mubarak is still alive and he will live and see his children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. They cannot cut off his life. That's like that, just like that. I told him, even yesterday, you read my messages and no reply. You read my messages, no reply. So my head was even filled up as at that time. I could not eat. Sometimes even Miriam is my witness. Miriam? Okay, let me continue.
Hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
We can hear you.
We can hear you. Just continue.
We
Okay,
hear you.
okay.
Just,
I could not
the
eat.
floor is yours. Continue.
I could not sleep. Oh, okay. I could not eat. I could not sleep. Oh, this is my son here. Look at my son. My 2-year-old son. This is him. So then say hello.
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 Big boy.
Hello.
He is
nice
so
of you.
little for his age.
Good evening.
That's
Okay, say bye-bye.
genius.
Bye-bye.
Genius.
Yeah,
It's
good.
so good.
Thank you. Well done.
No,
Well
okay.
done, Amina. Well done. Well done.
Okay. You want to stay? Okay, cool. Okay, say hello.
Amina.
Say bye-bye.
Hello, Daddy.
Yeah?
Amina, before I forget,
Bye-bye.
we are going to have you, Amina, we are going to have you next Saturday. Amina, we shall have you next Saturday. We are going to host you again next weekend with Mariam, so that you can be able to, we shall host you again. We are going to have you again. We are going to have you again next weekend, so you can tell us the story of Muhammad Ban. And then we are going to share this platform with Mariam so that we have the two of you, so that we can give you enough time. Now, for now, because of time, we just want us to know how you are. How you are right now. So when we get you back on set, you will tell us that whole story.
Okay.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I tend to be much more stronger now. All thanks to the love and support I've been getting for the past 30 months. Yeah. I feel strong, though I'm still a crying machine. I still cry to ease my heart and to ease my pain. It helps me to heal. Crying helps me to heal. So don't mind me if I'm a crying baby sometimes. So I'm fine. I'm hanging in here. I'm trying to be strong. And the communication between me and Mubarak is kind of it's better now. So he calls me, I call him, we talk on phone. So it's fine now. I feel very, very much better now. I'm sorry, the network is crazy here.
It's fine.
Yes, Mariam, it must be it must be very crazy, the network. But we are happy to have you on set. If you can hear me, we are extremely happy. And I want to thank you for taking care of your baby. But also,
she's done a fantastic job.
I can hear you.
I want to thank you, Amina, for taking care of your baby and for taking care of yourself and to remain mentally stable. It's a very challenging moment to have your lover go away when you are just 8 months into a relationship. We know it's very hard. But be strong makes you the hero of our time.
Absolutely.
So we want to encourage you, and we want to tell you that you have friends that will never know, maybe you'll never meet in life. You have 1,000,001
So much
friends
support.
out there, people who want to support you, people who want to listen to you, people who want to encourage you to move on, to soldier on, but also to keep updating them about what's happening with Barry.
Thank you.
Barry is our friend, is our brother,
Yeah,
and
thank
I'm
you.
happy that you're in touch with him. So we are encouraging you to remain strong. Don't be broken down. Always what the government
She's
wants
not.
to do, the terrorists want to do is to mentally break you down. They want you to go crazy. They want to see
They
you
do.
crying. So don't give them the chance to break you down. Sometimes if it means pretending you be strong, because this is what your haters don't want to see. They don't want to see you strong. They want you to
Exactly.
cry on set, so they know they are working on your side. So you do reverse psychology. Reverse psychology, you do the opposite of what they expect you to do. You remain strong. So we are encouraging you to remain strong, and we shall open up all avenues of talking with you. We shall continue engaging with you. I've been talking with you at least through WhatsApp. I will continue doing that. All of us will continue giving our advice here and there, but we want you to be more stronger. Linda, any other thing you want to give to Amina as we conclude?
Thank you.
Well, when we started out as strangers and then we became friends, and now we are like sisters, and with Miriam as well. And I just think that there is so much power when African women come together, where we don't have jealousies and insecurities about each other, but we work together. We hold each other up. There have been times where we've all had low days. Miriam has been fantastic. She's been physically able to be there for Amina. We've had times where we've almost kept online with Amina for like 24 hours straight over a weekend and that to help her through rough patches. She's been there for us. If Marianne's been having a bit of her own stuff going on, I've stepped up for her. She's done the same for me. Amina's helped us too. It's like we are mostly all strong, but if one of us is failing a bit, and we lift each other and we stand up for each other. If anyone is attacked on Facebook, we are the other two. We defend and we support. And I think we should do a show one day on how women are changing in Africa as well. But when you look at how role models, these are the kind of women that our daughters and sons, we should be using as role models, not these celebrities on TV and all these African women who are trying to make themselves look like bleached white versions of their slave mistresses from a time before. Embrace yourselves as African women. You are powerful, amazing warrior women. I mean, always were. And I'm honored to know these two women and to have them as who I'm learning so much from as well. And what a strong unit we are. And I just wish that I could let women know. Stand up for your sisters. Stand together. You're all mothers. We are all the ones who birth the next generation of African children. And we need to work together and unite. And I do believe that the women need to know their significance, really, how very important we are. As collectively, as standing together. When things get really tough, I think of Sudangi as a symbol. This is what we're all doing it for. We're all doing it for our children and for the next generation, as women, as mothers, as life givers. And it's so important that we unite together. And it's just been a wonderful, out of bad comes good. And I think one of the good things that's come is just me getting to know these amazing women and everything just working together. So thank you, Kato, for being brave enough to have all three of us on at the same time tonight. We were all very well behaved.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm an ally of women because, of course, I'm a born of a woman. And I want to thank women because we are the best allies we can have anyway. I want to invite Mariam to give us your parting shots. Then we shall also have Amina to give us her parting shots, and then back to Linda to wind it up. Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, thank you so much, Kato. I would like to say that the fight for Mubarak's release does not stop. It won't stop, and even though we succeed in getting him out, which I know we will, we still don't stop there, because there are so many other people out there who are persecuted, you know, for the same thing, or even less than what he did. A lady was killed because of the fact that she stopped wearing the hijab, and another person is persecuted out there somehow, probably because she's thinking of changing her fate. So the fight for freedom does not stop. We are going to continue fighting for, you know, ourselves, and, you know, to have full emancipation, and also for other people out there. So I will just try to encourage you that for those who are listening, that you're going to be attacked, you're going to be assaulted, you're going to be physically abused, humiliated, even if possible, and so many other things. But you don't relent, and you just keep on fighting. That's the most, because in the end, you know, you're going to see the results. Definitely, the result is going to impress you. Thank you so much, Linda, Kato, for organizing this show, and it's an honor to be here today to speak about these things. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mariam. I should tell you, as I said, we are proud of you. You are inspiring so many people out there, and we want to continue encouraging you to continue going on, Mariam, to be strong. Back to Amina. Amina, as I said, you are our hero. We want you to remain strong.
Thank you.
The doors are open. Please keep on asking us questions, talking with us whenever things go wrong.
Okay. I really want to thank the universe. I want to thank Africans. I want to thank the whole world for fighting for me, for our family, Mubarak, I and my son Sodengi. I am so grateful. What else will I say than thanks a zillion for your hard work, your struggle and everything. I really appreciate, and we are not going to stop. I will not stop. I will not stop till Mubarak is being released, and we'll all be happy. Yes. So, okay. I promise I will not cry. You can see I'm smiling. I won't cry.
It's good to see you smiling.
Yeah. So my son sent his greetings. My son Sodengi sends his greetings to everyone. We will keep on the struggle. We are not going to stop. No, we can't stop now. No, we can't stop now.
We'll never give up.
Yeah, we will not. We will not. No. So thank you, and see you next the next show, right? Yeah.
Yes, next Saturday.
Yeah.
Next Saturday. Wonderful to have you guys back.
What I want to encourage you, Amina, please keep time next Saturday because you are the main speaker. Amina, next weekend you are the main speaker. Please keep time. We are going to give you a lot of time to explain so many things. Tell us about that journey. Talk about Bala. People are going to be waiting for that story on Saturday. So please keep time.
I am ready for that. I am ready for that.
So back to Linda. Linda, you are closing shots and closing the show.
Thank you so much for being on the show. And as Amina and Mariam said as well, we will never stop fighting for Mubarak Bala. And once he's released, we will also not stop fighting for justice for all the wrongs against him and his family and all the other people that are persecuted in Nigeria. I always said my life's journey has brought me to this point for a reason. I believe it's the path that I was always meant to be on, and all the experience I gained in my life brought me to this point. But I will always keep on fighting for the people of Nigeria and speaking out for them and using my voice to try and correct some of the things that are believed about them that are completely untrue. So definitely. And for all the persecuted across Africa, Nigeria, so many of us have united across Africa, 12 countries of humanists because of Mubarak. And a lot of people have turned their back on religion because of him, which just shows you how powerful it is when we do stand together as united African humanists in various countries. So I have Mubarak to thank for that one day. I'm going to give him a slap across the face and a hug at the same time and say thank you, because he's brought so many of us together to do good and work on help each other with causes that we're all working on. And it's just been an amazing what the effect has of something very, very negative. So definitely, as I said to Amina, when he's released, that's when our work really starts as well. And I think it's going to be like that as well.
Of
And
course.
hopefully free Nigeria, a much freer Nigeria then as well. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing everybody back same time next week. I'm very surprised we had such a good reception throughout. I love you guys lots.
Thank you, everyone.
Mwah.
And bye-bye.
See you next week.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Love you too. Bye. Bye. Bye.